What's up, family? Man, it's kind of cold out here. You know what I mean? Um, man, I hear so much. You know what I mean? And I get contacted so much about a lot of different things. Family, this is going to be kind of challenging. Um, this video is going to be detrimental to our ignorance. You know what I mean? Stay with me. We're going to go somewhere. It's going to get kind of heavy. It's it's going to be a trigger for a lot of people. It's going to piss off a lot of people. Um, It is what it is. You know what I mean? If you get angry, if you get triggered, man, before you get in the comments with that stupid stuff, family, please just sit back and just marinate in it for a minute. You know what I mean? Sit back and try to understand why is it that you're so triggered? Why is it that what I'm saying to you in this video, why is it bothering you so much? Why is it such a sore spot for you that you feel like you have to comment with all the foolishness? You know what I mean? Why is it that you feel like you have to react? You know what I mean? As a little kid, they told me, it is better to keep your mouth shut and be perceived as wise than to open your mouth and let everybody know how much a fool you are. I'm gonna say that again. As a kid, man, they programmed us. They had us thinking. They told us over and over, it is better to keep your mouth shut and be perceived as being wise than to open your mouth and let everybody know how ignorant and how foolish you really are. Here we go. Family. When we start talking about things or we start looking at different things and things in history, things a long time ago, things that occurred a long time ago, we have to understand the times. You know what I mean? We have to understand what was the norm. Okay? Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. The old days, women were not educated. Stay with me. I'm not putting women down or anything of that nature. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. 1700s, 1600s, 1500s, 1800s, heck, even in the early 1900s, women weren't taught to read for the most part. Okay? Women were kept in the dark. Why? So that they could be controlled. Women, and it's crazy because you had so many leading teachers and preachers and psychologists and all these other ignorant people at that time who thought that women couldn't handle intellectually, they couldn't handle knowing how to read. They couldn't handle knowing how to learn. You know what I mean? And so their job was to stay at home, and the men of the family were to protect them. We would make all the decisions for you. You know what I mean? We were everything that needed to be done, that needed some intellect. We got that. We'll take care of that for you. You just stay there, sitting there looking pretty, keeping the house clean, cooking and taking care of me and my needs, and I'll do all the thinking. Reality, family, that shows you the insecurity of most men. The reality that shows you the pettiness and the controlling nature of most men. It wasn't to keep the women safe. It wasn't to keep their brains from going into overload or any of that other stupid stuff that they thought. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. And so you have the Salem witch trials, and you have all these women that all over the world were considered witches. Do you know what I mean? Because they were educated. They were considered witches because they knew how to read. They knew how to think outside the box. They didn't need a man telling them what they could and couldn't do. They didn't need a man to explain stuff to them. And in fact, they knew things that they can explain to men. And men couldn't understand that. Men couldn't comprehend that. So obviously they had to get that information from the devil. Obviously they had to get that from some evil spirit. And so these women were condemned to death, burned at the stake, drowned, all kinds of things because they were considered to have evil spirits in them because they were educated and thought outside the box and had their own opinion. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. And so the men at the time had to explain away these women's thought process. They had to explain away the fact that these women were educated and couldn't be controlled. Okay? And the only way to do that at the time, again, was to demonize them. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. Nothing's changed, family. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. We still have that same ignorant mentality today. And the great majority of us don't even know, we're not even aware that we have that mentality. But for some reason, in our ignorance and arrogance, we feel that we know everything. In our ignorance and arrogance, we feel that we should be able to comment and check somebody and tell somebody about themselves because they're not doing what we want them to do. Nothing's changed from the old days. You know what I mean? Because you do this and I don't like it, or because you wear this and I don't like it, man, I'm going to put you in your place. I'm going to tell you about yourself and whoop, and you can't be this and you can't be that and you can't be. Man, we're so full of ignorance. We're so full of arrogance. We're so full of just stupid stuff. 8 months ago, I made a video titled The Illuminati. We have to grow up, family. We have to grow up emotionally. We have to grow up intellectually. You know what I mean? We have to grow up. I get so many people hitting me up, and you guys can see them in the comments. You know what I mean? Again, it is wiser. It is better to keep your mouth shut and appear as wise than to open your mouth and show the world how foolish you are. I get so many people with that foolishness. You know what I mean? Again, when you can't control someone, people have a tendency of trying to control the narrative. When you can no longer control somebody, what they do, what they say, when you can't control them, you try to control what everybody else think of them. You try to control how everybody else feel about them because of your insecurities, because of your issues. And so you can't control this person, but I'm going to control the narrative. I'm going to say, oh, you doing this. Oh, well, you did this. And oh, you wearing this. And man, we have to grow up. We have to grow up. And I see so many people, man, you wear all those crystals, man, that's this. Man, you wear that mason ring. I can't get past your mason ring. That's your ignorance. That's your ignorance. If you allow my mason ring to distract you and to stop you from hearing what I have to say, that's on you. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm a grown man. I'm not going to stop wearing something just because you don't like it. Who the hell do you think you are to tell somebody what they can and can't wear? The arrogance, the narcissism, the ignorance of some people is just so mind-boggling. You know what I mean? How are you going to try to tell another grown person what they can and can't do? Or how they should and shouldn't be? You really think that highly of yourself? You can't get past what they got on, so you're not going to hear what they got to say. Okay. A long time ago, I was a kid, young teenager, and my uncle took me fishing. We were at the bay, and it was real windy that day. And we're casting out. My uncle's from North Carolina, avid fisherman, great fisherman, you know what I mean? And we're fishing, and we're casting in the wind, and our lines just kept coming up. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. Our line just kept coming back to shore. No matter how much weight we put on, our lines just kept coming back. And we wasn't catching anything because our line wasn't staying out, you know? And it's like every few minutes we were having to reel it in because our line's sitting up on the side of the shore, you know? And so this guy came by, and I saw him walking by, and it's like, man, please don't say nothing to me. You know what I mean? And again, I'm about 15 years old. And this guy, he looks like a hobo, you know, just looks like a bum, you know, and it's just real dirty, grimy, and just, man, I wasn't trying to deal with nobody. I wasn't trying to have a conversation with nobody, anything, right? And so he's walking up towards, and I'm kind of separated from my uncle a little bit. And we're just out there fishing. There's just nobody out there but the two of us. And this guy's walking towards us. And I'm just like shaking my head, like, you know. And I put my head down. And just total disgust. You know what I mean? Just total disgust. Guy looks at me and I look at him. And I just put my head down and just started reeling my line in. He didn't say anything to me. He walked down to my uncle. And he was talking to my uncle. And so my uncle reeled his line in. And he cast out. And I kid you not a minute out afterwards, not a minute after he cast out, boom, he got a big hit, you know. He's running big fish. I'm like, oh, snap. The guy leaves. And I'm like, oh, man, that's lucky, you know. And so I didn't think nothing else about it. My uncle cast back out again. I'm still reeling in my line, casting it out, reeling it in, back in because it's sitting up on the shore. And I'm just going through that, right? My uncle cast back out. Not a minute again. Boom! Got another big one. I'm like, what the heck? You know, it's like, oh, nah, he got a lucky spot, you know. He just found the school where they at, right? And so I'm still constantly just reeling in, not doing anything, just wasting time, you know. Cast back out. A few minutes later, it's up on the shore, and I'm having to reel it back in again. My uncle's casting out. Boom, getting into all these big fish, nice size fish, right? And so I'm like, okay, what the heck? So I walk down there. I reel my stuff in, drop it on the floor, and I'm frustrated. I'm mad now, right? So I'm walking down there because he's using the same bait I am. You know, it's like, okay, what's the secret? What's going on? And he said, oh, that guy told me we were fishing wrong. I said, who? And he said, that guy that just walked by. I said, oh. I thought he was a drunk. I thought he was a bum. This is what I'm saying to my uncle, my perception of this guy. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. And I looked where that guy was at, and I couldn't see him anymore. And this was just a few minutes. You know, we're just talking about a few minute time frame. This guy just disappeared. You know what I mean? And so I'm talking to my uncle. I'm like, where'd he? And I'm asking him. I said, where'd he go? And he looked around. He's like, I don't know. My uncle didn't care. He was catching fish. And so I'm tripping on where this guy went. How did he just disappear? We're out here on the shore. How did he just disappear that quick? Where the heck he go? He wasn't walking that fast. You know what I mean? And he definitely didn't have no vehicle, mode of transportation other than walking, you know? And so my uncle tells me, he's like, yeah, he told me that we're casting with the direction of the wind. And he said, don't do that. Cast into the wind. And your line will stay out there. And so I'm like, okay. So I go back down there, cast into the wind like my uncle told me. Boom, catch a nice size fish. I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. Do it again. Boom, nice size fish. And we do this over and over and over and over. We caught so much fish. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. We would have never caught that fish. We would have never caught all of those fish had my uncle not listened to that guy. I didn't want to listen to that guy. I didn't want to hear nothing that guy had to say because I perceived by the way he was dressed, because I perceived by the way he looked that he didn't have anything beneficial to say to me. I perceived as a 14-year-old kid that this guy couldn't tell me anything. I didn't want to hear anything he had to say. And so he walked right past me and went to my uncle and told my uncle what my uncle needed to hear so that we could catch the fish. I could hear it from my uncle. I could receive the information from my uncle, but I couldn't hear it from this guy. And so it is with us in life. Because I judged this dude, because I looked at what this guy had on, I refused to accept anything he had to say. And that's exactly what we do. That's the lesson I learned as a 14-year-old kid. To stop judging people based on their appearance. To stop judging people based on what they had on. Fast forward. We have so many people, oh, why you wear that? And why you doing that? And why you did it? All this stupid stuff. You know what I mean? All this ignorant stuff. We have to grow up and get past that stuff, family. We have to get past that. Going back to the Illuminati. The Bavarian Illuminati. And again, I made a video about this 8 months ago. I'm not real technical as far as savvy, as far as being able to add it up here, or any of that other stuff. I'll put the link in the comments section. And so, 8 months ago, I made this video of the Illuminati. We have to understand that the Bavarian Illuminati was established around 1776. And they had an agenda. Again, understand the times. Understand the times. You can't look at that as of today, 2021. You know what I mean? You can't look at that as the mentality of how people are today. You know what I mean? You have to look at it at the times when the group was established. That's crucial. That's key. Okay? You have to put everything in context. At the time, 1776, the churches ran the households. At the time, women weren't educated. At the time, they went by whatever the man said. At the time, the people, a lot of men weren't educated. They went by whatever their pastor said. At the time, people went by whatever the politicians said. The government ran everything. What the government didn't run, the churches ran. And both entities were getting extremely rich and wealthy off the backs of the ignorant. I'm going to say that again. 1776. Understand the times of the, you know what I mean? Understand how things worked. Look at it through the proper lens. The great majority of the people weren't educated. And so they went by what the politicians told them. They went by what the church people told them. Whatever the church people said was gospel. Whatever the politicians said was fact. And so the Illuminati said, man, we want to eliminate ignorance. We got to get rid of ignorance. And the way we get rid of ignorance is, man, we have to help these people see what's going on. We have to help these people understand that they're being brainwashed and controlled and manipulated by the government, by these politicians. We have to open up the people's eyes to the fact that the religious groups are controlling them. They're manipulating them. They're feeding on their egos. They're feeding on their feelings. They're scaring them to death with this hell and all this other stuff. It's all emotional. These people are being played on. These people are being taken advantage of. On one hand, you got the religious group controlling and manipulating the people. And on the other hand, you have the politicians doing the exact same thing. And both groups are getting extremely wealthy off the backs of the ignorant masses. 2021. Nothing has changed. You have career politicians, people that have gotten into politics and have gotten extremely wealthy, been in politics 30, 40 years, ain't changed nothing. Except their addresses and their bank accounts. You know what I mean? They haven't done anything for the masses, for the most part. They give you little bits of this, little crumbs to make you feel better, make you feel like they're doing something for you. And the whole time they're getting wealthy. The whole time they're manipulating you and controlling you. The church is doing the same thing. And so with the Illuminati, and the Illuminati means the awakened ones. You know what I mean? The awakened ones. The ones that eyes are open. They understand what's going on. Jesus said, to him that have ears to hear, let them hear. He wasn't talking about the natural hearing. I say to you, to them that have ears, let them hear. Chosen ones, you have ears to hear. The rest, everybody else, man, they get in where they fit in. And what I mean by that, they're not going to hear this. They're not going to hear this. They're going to hear what I'm saying. They're not going to understand it. They're going to be with that stupid stuff still. They're going to be with that ignorant stuff still. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But we have to understand, family, that we've been controlled. We've been manipulated. We've been brainwashed. And so what the government has done, what the church has done, the church has said, no, They're the Illuminati. These people are bad people. These people are trying to control your lives. These people are trying to manipulate you and do this and do this and do this. This is what the government has told us. This is what the religious groups have told us. That the quote-unquote Illuminati is the enemy. The quote-unquote Illuminati is the bad people. They're the ones trying to wake you. They're the ones trying to wake you up to see what's really going on. But the government has come in, the church folk have come in and flipped the script and told you that the Illuminati is the bad people. The Illuminati is this. The Illuminati is the devil. The Illuminati is this. And they're selling their souls to the Illuminati. They're selling their souls. They're doing this. Da, da, da. This is what the church has done. This is what the government has done. They flip the script. And because we don't study, because we don't read on our own, because we won't do our due diligence, we believe it. We listen to all the crap that they spew and we swallow the hook. Every 4 years, the politicians come out and telling you all these stupid lies. You know they lying to you and you still buy into it. You still believe that crap. You still go out and vote for them. Family, we have to wake up. We have to wake up. We have to understand that we've been deceived. We're thinking all these people are the bad guys because they're trying to wake you up. All Jesus did was try to wake people up. All Jesus did was try to get people to open their eyes to the fact that these religious folks didn't have their best interests at heart. That these religious folks was about that foolishness. The government is what it is, you know what I mean? And the Jews at that time was mad because they thought, man, Jesus, we looking for the king of the Jews. He's going to come and we're going to go to war and we're going to overthrow Rome and we're going to get rid of all these Roman soldiers and we're going to get rid of all this stuff and whoop-de-whoop-de. This is what they were looking for. That's not what Jesus was about. That's not what Jesus was talking about. Jesus was talking about love. Jesus was talking about forgiving and not being so judgmental and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But that's not what those people want to hear. And so the religious people condemned him. The religious people said he wasn't crap. The religious people said whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. The religious people, the politicians, convinced the people and had the people riled up against them. Nothing's changed, family. Nothing's changed. Today, you have the government, secret ops agents, you know what I mean, coming in, acting as though they're the friend, acting as though they're one of the chosen ones, acting as though they're part of the crew, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, sowing discord. Why? To eliminate the unity, to stop the growth and development, to stop the movement. Religious folk do the exact same thing. Nothing has changed, family. Nothing's changed. They're still doing the same thing. And then you get ignorant people that don't know any better. They haven't done their own due diligence. They haven't done their own research or any of that other stuff. And they're listening to all this dogma. They're listening to all this garbage that's been spewed by these ops agents. You know what I mean? And they're taking it all in. And then they get on social media talking the same stupid stuff. And they ain't doing nothing to help the people grow. They ain't doing nothing to help the people wake up. But they want to get on other people's social medias. They want to get on and see what other people are doing. And those people that are trying to help the people, those people that are trying to wake the people up, those people that are trying to help those people see what it is, you know what I mean? They're coming in and they're sowing discord. They're coming in trying to sow doubt. They're coming in and trying to sow division and stupid stuff. When you can't control the person, you control the narrative of the person. When you can't control the person, when you can't control the movement, you come in and you sow discord and you try to sow your own narrative of that movement. You try to sow doubt. You try to sow division. You try to sow stupid stuff. It is what it is, family. It's always been that way. It's always been that way, and it's always going to be that way as long as we're here. Chosen ones, Don't allow these people to get you twisted. Don't allow these people to get you distracted. You know what I mean? See it for what it is. Recognize them for who they really are. Recognize them as they really are. You ain't got to comment on all the stuff that they say. You ain't got to react to everything they do. That's what they want you to do. They want you to do that. Game recognize game. Real recognize real. We say that on the streets all the time. But then we get so enlightened, we get so awoke that we forget that when it comes to spirituality. My hope and prayer is that we understand it is what it is, and that we understand the stupid, ignorant stuff that's going on, and how people are trying to distract us. They're trying to throw us off our target. They're trying to throw us off our journey. They're doing their job. They're doing their job. Your job is to do what you came here to do. Don't allow those distractions to stop you from doing what you came here to do. See those distractions as for what they really are. I see you. And it's not that I look down on you. It's not that I think I'm better than you. I see you and I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. Why? Because you're just confirmation that I'm on the right path. Your confirmation that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Your confirmation that I'm saying what I'm supposed to say. Your confirmation that I'm where I'm supposed to be. I see you. I recognize you. And I thank you for that confirmation. I'm not going to bite off into the stupid stuff, because I see it for what it is. It's a distraction. If I allow it to be a distraction, if I choose to see it as confirmation, boom, just bow my head humbly in gratitude and keep moving. Keep moving. Stay the course. Stay the course. The closer you are to breaking through, the closer you are to reaching where you want to go, the harder it's going to come. Now, what I mean by that, the harder they're going to come, the more they're going to come to distract you, the more they're going to come with the foolishness to throw you off track. And again, it's however you see it. You know what I mean? See it as a positive thing. See it as a sign, man, I'm almost there. You know what I mean? I must be doing something right. I must be on the right path. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.